Alright, in this video I'm going to be showing a crack repair. I am doing a laundry room renovation when I noticed some water on the floor. It had been raining outside quite a bit. So I just pulled it out, grabbed out my iPhone to see if I could record a bit of this to see what's going on. You can see that there's actually moisture and water coming out of the main stack of the house. That's going to have to be repaired by a plumber. That's not the issue. I'm slowly finding it, and sure enough, the insulation is dripping wet. So I have to cut and remove the vapor barrier, roll back the insulation, and make sure I know what I'm dealing with before I continue on and notify the homeowner that there's an issue. So tear back the insulation to get a better look. Sure enough, it's going up the foundation wall. So it's just a matter of following that. You can see that the insulation itself has some soil on it that seeped through the crack, as well as the wall itself does have some soil as well. So I just have to follow this crack up to hopefully find the source. And though you can't see it in this video, these two holes right here were dripping with water as it was raining outside. So I know that's the problem. The rest of the concrete and the crack is dry above it, but we're gonna have to repair this with some expanding epoxy, which Sika, the brand, has a product that I'm gonna use. Just following along the manufacturer's recommendations to grind out the crack to make it bigger, just so the epoxy has something to go into. And I'm also gonna use a concrete bit, drill some holes in to get some depth to where my epoxy can go. So it's gonna look like this. Every 4 to 6 inches, I'm putting a hole. The next step is to clean it out. You could either blow it out or suck it out. I'm gonna use my vacuum here just to avoid a bit of a mess. I'm gonna hydrate the concrete. This epoxy does need to make contact with water to work properly. And these are the plastic nipples that the kit comes with, and I'm gonna put one at each hole. I'm gonna mortar them in place with the fast setting grout that they have in the box as well. And then once that's dry, it's ready to insert the epoxy. Twist on the special nozzle that combines the epoxy at the same time, and starting at the bottom, you begin to pump it full. I am going slow here just to make sure it's working properly. And as you move up, you insert these plugs into the nipple, and that prevents the epoxy from expanding out of that spot. You pump it, and when you begin to notice the epoxy dripping out of the plug above where you're filling, that's when you know that that distance 4 or 6 inches is full of the epoxy. So once it starts dripping like that, you can go ahead and plug that bottom hole with the plugs provided, and then move up to where it was dripping, fill that one up until you notice it coming out of the one above that, and you just repeat that step for all the plugs. You just want to make sure the crack is full before you continue on. There are 2 holes side by side here where those plugs were, so they're taking quite a bit of the epoxy. Actually, you can see with this, there's those 2 nipples there side by side. So I want to make sure that those ones are full. And I just plug both of those, and then I carry on with that for the remaining plugs. Fill them, wait for it to drip above, plug the one that you're filling, and then move to the one that was dripping. And afterwards, it's going to look like this. All of them are filled and plugged. You can see some of the epoxy that's already expanded and oozed out. That's a good sign, it means that it's working. And afterwards, I looked outside and I could actually see that it was expanding outside as well. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Also, if you want to follow along, I have made a whole series of a off-grid cottage build from the ground up. Most of the steps anyways. So if you're interested in that, feel free to click through and see. I think there's about 50 videos on this whole build. If you're interested in that, feel free and subscribe. Thanks for watching.